Disclaimer: the content presented in this show is intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of any individuals or organizations mentioned. Statements made about public figures or entities are based on publicly available information and are not intended to harm or defame any person or business. This show relies on fair use of social media posts, which are presented in good faith for the purpose of commentary and criticism. Viewers and listeners are advised to form their own opinions. Circle back here on the Circles Off channel, part of the Hammerbag Network and presented by Kalshi. This is the show where we cover the latest and greatest stories that come from gambling Twitter and some of the biggest ones of the week. LeBron James failing to score 10 plus points in an NBA game, and we saw a losing ticket on the 10 plus points bet. We had a lot of drama circling around the app after the Heisman Award. The odds swung in so many different directions on the final day when there was college championship games. And then we're going to be exposing some touts as usual. That's what you can expect on today's show. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host here on Circleback. My name is Jacob Gramegna. I'm a creator and producer for the Hammerbag Network. In the right chair, we have CEO of the Hammerbag Network, Rob Pizzola, professional sports bettor. In the middle chair, we have basketball originator and Pavia believer in the Heisman debate, Kirk Evans. And then on the left side, we have the self-proclaimed sophisticated swear, Chargers superfan, Geoff Feinberg. So we had a lot go on this week, but I think the biggest thing from gambling Twitter, because this has been an ongoing saga for so long, the LeBron James 10 plus points bet. It finally came to an end. The streak came to an end. I think it was 1,297 games. Last time he didn't get 10 points in a game or more was early January 2007. I was 7 years old. But then on Thursday against the Raptors, LeBron only registers 8 points. And immediately the group chat was looking for a ticket of somebody who bet on this. And we got one, I found at least. Bryce Lados said, "God bless America. DK must actually be drunk with this price." And it was LeBron, 10 plus points, minus 2,600. Naturally, there was some very large reactions here. Fozen, the person who really pioneered this bet and brought it to the forefront of gambling Twitter, got its fame, said, "Last year I pioneered the LeBron 10 plus points bet and everyone said I was a jinx. Now I don't bet it anymore and people are blaming me for him not scoring 10, not fair." And he had some other reactions there. And in the end, Suntan Bird says, "Wow, Flup finally won," because this is something that he would often bet against Flup, because Flup was constantly taking the LeBron no side. And then Flup, Chris Dierkes, formerly of the Friday show, said, "Fuck Fozen." He finally stops. And of course, LeBron misses because Fozen, I think days in advance of this, said he's no longer going to be betting this. So he says to Flup, "I absolutely own you. Have Joey Knish to look in the camera and let the world know how sharp I am." But there were some more nuanced takes as well. Blaze Bets kind of warned people and said this is an example how anything can happen in sports betting in a one-game sample size. Nothing is ever a guaranteed win. And finally, we had Rishi Betts showcase this take from Prop Bomb. Sorry, Prop Bomb. He's been featured on the network before on our NBA show. But Rishi says, "If you're looking for the dumbest possible LeBron 10 plus points take, your search is over." Prop Bomb said, "Hopefully no one got baited into LeBron over 9.5 points. Nonsense. You don't think opposing players know that the streak and will do their best to prevent it?" So a lot to unpack here, but let's start with you, Rob. What was your reaction when you found out the streak was over?
Yeah, so I watched it in real time because it came up in our group chat that this could possibly happen tonight. It was a Raptors game, so I turned it on. I was rooting for it not to end. LeBron drove the lane to get his 8th point. Really probably shouldn't have done it. It was not the best look, but you could clearly tell that something was going on. Immediately, I went to Fozen's Twitter account. I found a tweet from 3 days prior where he's like, "I'm done with this bet." I will give the guy his flowers. It's truly insane. I had him on Circles Off. He basically said, "I found this edge." I didn't really know if it was an edge. It just felt like it was, and I made it my thing, and I bet it forever. The guy finally jumps off of it, and it loses within the same week. Like, it's so improbable that could happen. Truly insane. With these types of things, like, it always comes down to price, I guess, at the end of the day. And typically what happens is it starts at like this low price and then eventually gets to a price where nobody wants to play it anymore. But I don't know, did that like seem egregious to you, minus 2,600? Because like we're victory lapping, and like I buried that guy. I quote tweeted his loss and I put like rest in pieces or something like that, right? Because it's the only one I could find. Doesn't really seem like it was even that bad of a bet. It's just a bet that it's what do we call those types of bets? A bridge jumper that, you know, happened to lose.
Yeah, so the minus 2,600, like, that was actually much closer to like the original price that Fosen was getting like when this all started. Obviously, a lot has happened since then. LeBron was out for the first few months of the season, hasn't been particularly good coming back.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's at worst like a normal bad bet. Like, it's probably better than like most bets that Rex are making. It honestly was probably pretty close to good. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Prop Bomb. The worst tweet, like, honestly, maybe in the history of Twitter. And I know that's
I don't know.
Just so galaxy brain. You don't think the opposing players know this? What, you think Brandon Ingram's like guarding LeBron harder to stop him from
They're double teaming him in a close game? Like
no one on the only person who really cared about this LeBron 10 plus thing was LeBron and Fosen.
Yeah.
Like, and gambling Twitter.
Yeah.
No one, the players on the other team were trying to defend LeBron in a close game so he doesn't get 10 plus
They're probably
points.
defending him because they're trying to win the basketball game.
Yeah, exactly. But I just think this was honestly a huge win for like gambling Twitter, sports betting. I think, I don't know how you can really recreate this because it did happen very organically, but just an amazing kind of story that it really, I don't think many people really cared or knew about the LeBron 10 plus until it kind of got into the sports betting.
People cared.
Not really.
This
I
is
don't
going
think
to be.
I'd ever heard of it until it got into betting.
This has been a thing.
Well, listen, I'm a casual basketball fan. I had no idea that the streak existed, just as a pure casual. But like the culture, like sports betting culture, will just move on to like another version of the LeBron 10 plus. Like there's just going to be like another streak that someone finds at some point and elevates it. I could see a guy like Trent being the guy that pioneers another. You know, this thing has happened for the last 7 seasons, and then he eventually loses it himself, and it becomes a big thing. But yeah, I am kind of glad it's done, though, to be honest with you. Like, I just kind of got sick of it after a while. It like...
It's been going on for almost 20 years, Rob.
Almost, you know what I'm... No, but like, from a betting perspective, right? It's really only been going on for the last year, but it just became like a nuisance in my feed when I would see it all the time. Just a very personal thing. But I think I'll let Geoff get some words, and then I actually want to talk about watching the end of that game.
Credit to Fosen. That was incredible. Yeah. That's like you ride a train to work every day and you're like, I don't know, man, the structural integrity of this thing, like it just doesn't feel right. Like every time we go over that bridge, like it just feels a little bit looser. I'm taking the bus now or I'm carpooling. And then like a week later, there's like an incident.
Yeah.
I don't know that it really was a thing because I can't remember a time, and I'm sure there were times in the past where he barely got it. And it was like, God, like, can you... LeBron barely got it. It's still alive. So I'm sort of like with Rob, but to the inner basketball, I'm sure it's always been a thing.
Yeah.
That being said, after it happened, and you'll speak to this better than me because I have no clue. And I'm sure there have been a lot of close calls like last year. But the amount when you like open his game log and the amount of like times he's flirting with what feels like potential close calls and how hard it seemed like he'd been working to keep it alive in some of the lead up games. Like, yeah. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, like the grind he had to put on to get it like 1 or 2 games before the game had ended. Like, of course, if you're like the LeBron whisperer, you feel it. And you feel the structural integrity of it, like on the shakiest grounds. And not to say the books knew, but yeah, they're baiting with a price.
Well, I think like
That
the
they
price
saw,
over
like-
time got higher and higher. This one happened to be an okay one, but like I've seen
But
people
they
laying
saw-
as high as like
it
minus
was-
7,500.
Is flirting with it like once every 3 games.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's averaging 15.5 points per game this year. Like he's
having a rough year.
25 to 30 his whole career. So yeah, for sure he's been. It didn't used to be a thing where it would happen often. It would be like sometimes, oh, it's a massive blowout. Like, are they going to keep him in the? But he would kind of just get it easy.
Well,
Vers-
earlier in the week, he had a
I'm
close
saying in
call, and he
I'm saying in
stat
prior
padded
seasons.
in garbage
Forget
time.
about the averages though. Like I do think that there is definitely something to him knowing that this streak exists. Like he had a impressively poor shooting performance, right? Like
4 of 17.
4 of 17. So like
No free throw attempts.
he's taking the shots to get this no matter. Like he's trying. I'll tell you, in real time, I was fucking floored that he passed that ball out for the game win. And I bet you, like everything we know about LeBron, in that moment, he felt like $1 million. They won the game or whatever. He went to bed that night and he was like, you know what? If I just missed that shot or like took that shot, the worst case, we're going to overtime. I got another chance to get. He would trade.
No,
he would
I-
trade that win for the
I
record.
think he's like the phoniest, cringiest
Yes.
guy on earth, but I'm actually going to give him the benefit of the doubt that it's like, no, it's going to end with me giving it up. It's like Cal Ripken just taking himself out of the lineup today.
Yeah.
It is now time to die. God forbid he took like a shit shot there to try to tie the game instead of getting the
but it
right
was
look
tied.
off for the
game
team.
was tied. But it was 110, Jacob.
Yeah,
You
it was tied when he
It was
made the
tied
pass.
when he dished it out.
It
right?
was 120,
So like
120.
he could have just taken the fight. I think in
I think
real
he did it
time,
on purpose.
Instincts take over, and you're trying to win a basketball game. You'll do whatever. But I think if he would never say this publicly. Like we'll never know the answer to it. But I think deep down, he would have rather that streak stayed alive than they win just
99% of the time on like a LeBron thing, I'll take your side.
Yeah.
This one, I'm actually just giving him the benefit of the doubt that when it was over and the fact that it went out with him, like the worst thing could happen is it going out with him going like 3 of 18, trying
Staying
to
in
force
and
it.
just chuck it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what he
like-
did. That's what
But that's
exactly
exactly
No,
what he
I know,
did.
but it's overshadowed because he dished it and they won,
No,
and now
'cause-
it's like classier,
Okay.
like a Cal Ripken sort
Hang
of
on.
situation.
Everyone is spinning it like, oh my God, what a great teammate. He turned down the record to make the pass. He was hunting the fucking 10 points all fourth quarter.
That guy
he
was
begging
making
for
horrible
fouls
shots.
all game. He was hunting the record other than that one single play, and people are spinning it. What a great guy. You know, that's for LeBron his entire career.
there,
And I'm a
that
big
guy-
LeBron fan, and I'm
LeBron
saying
slept
this.
maybe 30 minutes that night
No, I
because he was
don't
just
agree.
reliving every shot he missed in his head, plus that
he
final
he
pass.
got blocked by Scotty. He hit a fadeaway jumper
Scotty Barnes.
that was blocked by Scotty Barnes, which he had hit another tough one. I think he would have made it if he had got over it. Barnes blocked him. He was hunting the 10 points. Believe me.
I don't think he went. I think maybe he went to bed thinking, "Wow, like my NBA career is starting to like wane," because
Yeah.
like, LeBron even last year, you know, if he wanted to hunt 10 points, he's getting 10 points. Like there's the level of like you have to hunt it, but then you have to be able to just get it. And LeBron's always just been able
True.
to get that.
Good point. Like he can
And
get to the line
He
if he
went
had to.
exactly.
He
like-
went to bed maybe for the first time realizing I'm going out sad.
Yeah.
And despite majority of people knowing like you're gonna play till this age, like you're just gonna go out sad,
Yeah.
he probably thought, no, I'm not gonna go out sad. I'll be good enough to avoid going out sad. He went to bed that night thinking for the first time ever, going out sad is in the range of outcomes for him.
Yeah.
For sure. And he's been the one who's like defied all age curves. And now it just, you know, he has injuries and it does seem to be hitting him. But
He had been injured.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
but that adds
That's
to it.
happened.
His
That's part of
injury
going
is
out
like
sad.
an old man back injury. It's
For,
not like,
but for the player of his caliber, that's part of going out sad
sure.
is the injuries and that you just the injuries, the age. He's gonna go out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I'm sure they'll prop up the last bit, but
Yeah.
and he's gonna come back to get his retirement tour.
Oh yeah.
So what? 3 more? This plus 2 more years, right?
I would say next year's probably his last one.
I agree.
I think it's a 2-year retirement tour.
2-year tour.
No,
Yeah. What if they don't play in every city? They're gonna. But you know what? Listen.
I'd be surprised if it was 2 more, but it's not impossible. I would say this And I think he probably ends up leaving the Lakers and has like maybe ends with the Cavs. We'll see, but
Yeah, he's a free agent end of the year. So
yeah. But yeah,
One
I think
more.
this in one more.
And then he'll own the team in Vegas and like play.
Yeah.
For
No,
like,
I don't think I agree with the first half.
He'll own the team in Vegas, and he'll be part of the broadcast crew and have access to all the coaches, and just like Tom Brady.
Different, but sure. You know, Brady, his
boy.
announcing. No.
Oh, boy.
Shock. His like ability from the first game he announced to like Thanksgiving and yesterday, you could see because he wants to be the best at what he does. Like he's putting in effort. He prepares.
Yep.
Even if he's not allowed in the buildings, which I understand why, and I don't like all of it. Like compare him to Romo in terms of the quality, in terms of their contributions.
Romo's cracking jokes the whole broadcast. He doesn't even know where he is. And
Jim, Jim, watch out, Josh. They're going for his legs. It's painful.
Well, also Romo and Brady are the opposite of Romo started completely on top and then just kind of didn't care. Versus Brady kind of sucked and now is getting better.
Brady's like the meme everyone uses when they have a controversial opinion. That would be like people, I think, widely are regarding Brady as like not a good analyst from what I see on Twitter right now. I think he's doing a really good job. He points out stuff that I didn't really notice before. You know, there was one thing about Caleb Williams that he pointed out this week, which was that he's escaping the pocket so early that the receivers are unable to get separation on the routes. So he's escaping, and like it's happening so much quicker than typically when a quarterback would scramble or escape that the receivers don't know. They're still running their routes while it's happening. They don't know that he's out of the pocket. I thought that was a really valid point.
Timing. Like, I know it seems like it's easy. It's probably impossible to like call the game, to have your like 12, 14 seconds to get your point in and out.
Yeah.
He'll make a connection to like to how the Patriots did something. Rodney Harrison referenced the other day. Melt me with that shit. And even a joke he can toss in there. Like he is, by the end of the NFC Championship game, it's going to be a whole new narrative on Brady's broadcasting skills.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with you just I think you're right in terms of his skills, but I think like when someone just kind of decides like, oh, this guy's like bad at the start, it takes a long time.
It's true.
Like Romo was thought as
They're
the
dug
best
in.
announcer
He might have been
for 24 months.
No
after
matter
he
what
lost it.
evidence they get, they're already dug in on that opinion.
I'm just saying, like, you're right, but the amount of work Brady has put in probably because of the early reviews and feed, like he is working. You can tell he's working hard.
Yeah.
Which is impressive for Tom Brady's life.
Agreed.
Before we get into the college football landscape, if you're enjoying the show so far, please make sure you've hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. If you have an opinion on what we've said so far or anything else we say throughout the show, comment it down below, and we will be sure to check all the comments as we normally do. But like I said, getting into the college football landscape, because we have the playoff bracket, which has been revealed, and a lot of people were really upset that Miami got in over Notre Dame. People are also upset that Alabama got in, maybe didn't deserve it. And around Twitter the last week or so, and definitely around the office in the last week or two, there's been a lot of debate surrounding the Heisman as well. We, in the end, saw a big swing towards Fernando Mendoza, who's now 94% probability on Kalshi to win the Heisman Award. Diego Pavia at 7%. Briefly, during the Ohio State-Indiana game, Pavia got to a minus. He was odds on to win the Heisman Award, but then it swung back in Mendoza's favor after some big plays and Indiana winning. But we got a glimpse at what the committee who's choosing the playoffs, what their setup looks like. And Mike Rass says, hate to be a TV snob, but come on, guys. TVs are cheap now. This is like $1 billion playoff system. So I'll try to describe it here. There's a boardroom table. There's probably like a 60, 55-inch flat screen in the middle. Then maybe two 30-inch TVs on the side, all placed on this boardroom table. And I mean, we have a better setup.
There's loungers all the way around. Like
the seating is nice, but the TV setup, we have a better setup here at the Hammer office than this.
This circulates every year when they're like on this day every year. The committee's just all in a room together.
Oh, I've never seen this one
They're
before.
sitting in like, lazy boys around. I always think to myself, like, what about the guy in the far corner? How is he seeing the TV on the other side of the room? Like, can't these people just watch the games individually and then reconvene after the games are done and make a decision? Like, is it necessary to talk it through in real time? Like, oh, if this happens now, we're gonna put like I don't really understand it.
Can't they just get a good TV setup? They can definitely afford it.
Yeah, I would say that I'm gonna push back on the TV. I think these TVs are bigger than they look in the picture. I'm just judging it based off the size of the room.
I just realized 2 of the TVs have the same game on them.
Yeah.
The ones on the sides are the same game.
I mean, it's a bad setup.
It just shows there's no like ball lover in the whole group. There's no one like, no, guys, come to my house.
Yeah.
I've
got the setup?
I've got the setup. You guys fly in. Like my wife's gonna cater us the best shit. We'll expense it. My house.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand, but I don't know. College football. Thank God I don't like. I just like betting it and watching it. Thank God I don't care about any of it.
I feel the same way as you because
Like
there's
I
2
love
days a year.
It is like pure Americana at its core. Even the Pop-Tarts Bowl, I appreciate and love that shit. But thank God I don't care about any of it.
When the bracket gets announced for March Madness and when the 12 teams get announced, people just lose their shit, right? And
I don't think the bracket is anything like this.
I guess maybe it's a little bit different because I follow Alan Boston on Twitter, and he goes through the same routine every year, which I find hilarious, which is like the mid-majors are getting fucked. Like they always try to screw over Gonzaga and St. Mary's and whatever. I just find that whole shtick hilarious. But you're right. This is bigger, I think, where people just go nuts. I kind of just miss like the BCS days where it was just like a computer. You knew kind of what went into the computer, what needed to happen. And now there's like, it's open to interpretation. No one is ever going to think that this is perfect no matter what, unless it's the exact same 12 teams that they picked with the rankings. There's always going to be 99% hate for what it ends up being picked. But like, is there not a way to just get rid of, like, what if we just put like conference winners into the playoff? You got to win your conference or something.
It's just never perfect.
Yeah, but who the hell cares? You have like, there's 2 conferences with 8 teams that are better than everyone.
Sure, I'm not.
So that doesn't, no. Like right there, that no.
Yeah, but like get away from the idea of leaving it up to a vote essentially, and more just like.
Couldn't you just build a model?
You win the Big 12,
No,
you're
but
in.
you'd never have a model that's
you win
perfect.
the SEC,
It's just
you're
always
in.
gonna be a
And you just play like a tournament of and then the Big 12 championship becomes that much bigger. The SEC championship becomes that much bigger because you're playing into the playoffs
don't hate
essentially. And there's no more like debate. You win the game, you're in. I don't know.
Well, debate kind of fuels the content as well. So maybe it's
that's true.
Wouldn't necessarily call it by design, but it definitely helps out to get they talk about playoffs a lot more. It helps.
Like even when the refs, like if the league wanted, like even when the refs make like a crazy bad call, people are just yelling about refs for 2 days.
Yeah.
The league will tell you they're still talking about us.
True.
Yeah.
They
True.
care about us.
Yep.
Right? And it sucks. And even in the owners' meetings, like it sucks when you're the team that got the wrong end of it, but no one cares to fix it because it's all just still feeds into what, I don't know, what we do.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue.
I'll give flowers to Powers. # flowers to Powers, who said that Notre Dame wouldn't be in. Kanish called him pretty much an idiot on Hit the Books. It got as high as, like, I was watching live markets. I think Notre Dame got up to like plus 3,000 to miss at one point. It was insanely high. And it's very, very, it's so rare nowadays. You see a market steam as crazy as that, and it turns out to be wrong. So, like, somebody
Especially
thought
on
they
an
had it.
info market.
Yeah.
At
The
least
times
no one
I
had
see it are like Academy Awards.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
Or like
Brokeback Mountain didn't
a draft
win.
pick,
Yeah.
guy to go like 3rd overall
Sure.
or something. Like,
But even
that
then,
level,
like, right before the draft,
you're still nervous as fuck.
like, so for example, Mac Jones got steamed to be like the 3rd
Yeah.
overall pick in the draft, up to like minus 1,500 at one point. But the closer we got to the draft, it corrected.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
2 minutes before the pick, the the steam is almost like the guy that's minus 2,000 is.
No, that's what I'm talking
near
about. I'm
certainty.
talking about like the right on those final moments.
Yes.
Of info gathering.
But this one was just completely wrong. The entire day just kept going out further and further and further.
What was that based on?
That's a good question. I think someone thought that they had info.
Yeah.
To bet it out that widely in the market. Someone thought.
And then it was easy to convince other people, like, yeah, of course, Notre Dame. They're not gonna. It's a TV show, Notre Dame.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a few others I could think of. Some Super Bowl halftime performances have been, but that's been just like weird grading because of the way that they started a song with like another song or something like that, right? This is
that stuff is normally like the info was right, but like they made a change late or exactly like last year it was like it was unclear what the first song actually was.
I'm not sure if anyone in the chat has a good example of this, but to my recollection, I can't remember something like this in a long time where it just steamed out that far.
The problem with the process is it's just so convoluted, and every year, what's it called? Like there's the precedents just will keep getting blown up. Right?
There's no
and that's what
consistency.
people were worried about. Like Miami and Notre Dame were close, and one team beat the other in the head-to-head. Like I'm a casual, I'm an outsider, I'm watching you guys yell. To me, there's like a no more conversation there. Now, it doesn't mean Notre Dame can't get in, but like how could they get in if we're talking about them in the same cluster? They can't get in over the team they
Well,
lost
if it comes
to.
down to them too, you would say like it's such a short season. You probably should put some stock into the fact that they played each other and 1-1. I don't know.
I would let like Brad Powers, and I'm just like speaking off the top of my head, but I trust like Brad Powers and like Brandon Walker more than the people on the committees.
Sure, give me these four guys. Put Furman, Peanut Better, Dan. Put these guys together. Let the
Done. Let Big Cat be in there too. Like who cares? They'll do it better.
Yeah. I used to skew like way too far towards like let's just use the Vegas power rankings, which over time I now disagree with because the games have to matter for something, right? You know, there was a year I think like Alabama lost a couple games, but they would have still been favored over any team in the country. You can't just make them the 1 seed because of that. The games have to matter some way from that. But it's just we're never going to get to a resolution here. It's going to be the same thing every single year unless you make it some sort of bona fide system or you make the ranking like public. Point differential matters. This is exactly how it's going to be calculated, and you work towards that.
I don't think they want that.
Yeah,
like
so that's
said,
your point.
I think
that's
they,
a good point.
The mystery is part of
the
the
mystery,
shtick.
the like people up in arms. I think it's all part of it.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, and the broadcast gives the broadcast partners something to yell about all day.
Yeah. Speaking of up in arms.
Well, yeah, let's
Should we get our friend in?
shift the focus into the Heisman debate.
let's-
Johnny Manziel said, we got basic fade routes being called Heisman moments now. I've really seen it all. Congrats to Indiana. That's a hell of a win. And like I said, Mendoza is now the large favorite. Kalshi has him at 94%. But I also said Pavia was above 50%, or at least very close to 50%, and the favorite at one point when Takes by Jay proclaimed for 2 weeks straight, there is no pathway to Pavia winning. Well, he's not going to win in all likelihood, but we perhaps saw the pathway. Maybe we ought to bring him in to.
Yeah, let's
someone
bring
find
Jay.
him.
Come in, Jay. Get in.
The door's swung open.
Of course, he's
so
waiting at the
fucking
There is a
quick.
pathway, by the way. There's a 7%.
Yeah, he can still win.
He could still win.
He's not going to.
Okay, go ahead.
I feel like we should give some background first.
Go ahead.
Well, I think we've given
No.
Okay,
Let's give the background so that Kirk doesn't feel as bad being wrong. So, Kirk, go ahead.
I would say it's an objective fact
Okay.
that I was right, but
Okay.
we can go over that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah,
so in the office, was this
Last week.
Last
Monday,
week.
right around Circle
Last
Back. recorded.
Monday, circle back. Jason says that Pavia has absolutely no path. I actually think, and tell me, you guys were here, tell me if this exact quote was wrong. He said the only way Pavia was going to win was if Mendoza and Sayan both got hurt in this game.
By the way, they both did. I just want to throw that out there. Sayan had his ankle taped up. Mendoza almost got like
Mendoza played
conked in the first.
whole game.
But keep
Okay.
going.
He did say
and
that. I heard
and
that. Yes.
That was the only path. We made a bet for a reasonable amount of money at plus 340.
Yep.
I, out of the goodness of my heart, gave him a 24-hour cancellation period. The line steamed to like plus 170.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Jason, reluctantly, to be fair to him, I'll give you credit there, did take the cancellation policy. So
He exercised his right to cancel.
Yes. And that's where we're at.
So
And
you
now-
guys didn't end up with a bet on this?
No bet.
He dug in. Jason dug in on Pavia being a great bet at the prices that first at the 340 price, but also what it steamed to afterwards.
Well, also, weeks earlier, he said my Pavia plus 1,700, that was the bet I actually had, was also dead. So he thought it was 0% when it was plus 1,700, at plus 340, plus 180. Then he steamed to minus 170. And last piece of background, Jason did write in our group chat that it was over and Pavia was going to win in the group chat. And now he's somehow victory lapping.
Oh, you've never heard of a reverse jinx? Are you kidding? You've never heard of that? You've literally never heard of a reverse jinx?
For context, though, you were like very aggressive with Kirk. Like
Okay.
You were dug in.
This is being blown out of proportion.
You guys almost came to blows in the
I'm going
office.
to be on your side for some of it, but like we're a minute away from starting a live show. You like barge in here like almost demanding a bet. The show ends. No, I mean it. He's sitting there. You're like you know. You're like very intense.
He said,
I'm
what's
gonna-
the max
Jason
price?
went straight
He's
from
sitting-
Hammer Daily to this studio to try to get a bet before we started the show.
And then after the show, Kirk is sitting in the chair, and you're like 2 feet in front of him.
Oh my God, this is such a...
No.
Sure,
Like,
okay,
you're right,
fine.
because you were passionate,
Yes.
and your case was in the end right. Like,
No.
hold on,
That's not
no.
That, we can debate that.
Okay, sure, but I'm just saying, like, his thought process was on the right track, and he really wanted to get action on it. He didn't care
No,
about
his
the
thought
price.
process was completely wrong. Everyone knew that if Mendoza won,
Okay, sorry.
if Indiana won, Mendoza was going to win. No one debated that. It was that if Ohio State won, Pavia was going to win, and when Ohio State was a favorite, Pavia's odds were like nearly reflecting Ohio
Anyway,
State to
forget.
win.
I didn't follow the market close enough. I would just say, like, you were like very aggressive in wanting the bet, and he was letting you know some really smart people are going to be on the other side of this, and you didn't. Not that you should have cared, but you didn't care, and you were like very aggressive in wanting the bet. He could have made like if almost like if he didn't like you or didn't know you, like he could have made a bet that would have been very uncomfortable for you.
Yeah. No, but I guess, yeah, that's fair. But you did give me the out. Part of the reason why we discussed the out, though, was because we both had a feeling that the number was going to move. Listen, did I think it was going to move to plus 165? Probably not.
It happened
I
while
thought
we were
maybe it
doing
was
our live watch.
I was like, wait.
The odds.
No, did I think it was going to move to plus 165? Probably not. I thought maybe like plus 250-ish, which still would have been a bad bet, but I would have been somewhat comfortable with like that move based on what I thought about Pavia. And yeah, you're right. If Mendoza was good, if Indiana wins, Mendoza was going to win the Heisman. But I think the issue is the disconnect between us and what I believe and all your friends and sharp guys that you know believe is that I think Sayin had a better chance of winning than he was given credit for if Ohio State won. Now, in the game state that happened, which played out perfectly for you, I don't think Julian Sayin would have won. If Ohio State won that game, I think Pavia would have won. I think that's fair to say. But it didn't happen.
It wasn't like some crazy game.
This is
Sayin
how
played pretty well. He just didn't play incredible.
They had four red zone trips and they failed to convert on, I think, was it 3 of them? So like, yeah, it's like a bad game for Julian Sayin.
So why is there beef?
There is no beef. I think Kirk's just mad at me because I'm right. No.
Wait a minute.
How about this? Kirk is just mad that I ended up winning.
No.
And he thinks that I'm wrong.
His definition of right is not the same as yours.
Okay, how about this? He's mad that he's right, but my side ended up winning.
The point that he's making is Pavia was an in-game favorite to win the Heisman.
Yes.
So from his perspective, anyone who bet Pavia at the plus money prices.
In his perspective, he's right because you were screaming last week that Pavia had no chance.
No path.
And the game and the path for which he saw actually played out.
Yes.
Just the plane didn't just land.
Yeah.
I wouldn't describe myself as mad in any way. I think it's funny that you can't say hand up. You were completely wrong.
I wasn't completely wrong.
You were as wrong as humanly possible. Say
Did you at least
in
did you at least hit a
totally-
big score? Well, it's not done yet, but you at least hit a big score on Pavia.
No, because I asked all you guys because
all
I
of us?
don't have access to prediction markets here, so I cannot bet Pavia no.
Yeah.
I asked multiple people to if they would be willing to get some for me.
Yeah.
And they all told me no.
Why didn't you ask me?
I'm pretty sure I asked you.
If you did, I would have just not bet the thing and said it's in.
Oh, okay, well, all right.
Next time there's a very sorry. Actually, I wouldn't have done that. I
Yeah.
would not have done that. Publicly, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirk being one of them, by the way. I asked you if you because.
Well, okay.
Okay, but
Let me explain.
wait, pause. Which I understand because how incredibly on tilt would it be? How on tilt would you be if you had so much money on Pavia? Yes, and then I come in. Could I give it like a couple little bit on Pavia? No, like having that in your account would just be incredibly tilting to look at. I completely
No, but
understand.
you can't ask him to do that because he let you off the hook of the bet already.
Wait, what?
This is the world, which is reality. And you are somewhere over there.
Okay.
This is what happened. We made a bet at
Yes.
plus 340.
Yes.
I felt bad because I knew I was getting in good.
Okay.
I knew it.
Okay.
So
you
I gave you a
warned them.
I warned you, I begged you not to take the bet, and then I gave you a 24-hour cancellation policy.
Yeah, but to be fair, hold on. To add context to this, you also would only let me bet it at that moment. You wouldn't let me bet it after that because we had a conversation that the line was going to move. It says you take it now or you don't take it at all. That was my option.
I don't know if any of what
Okay, fine, fair.
I don't know about that, but whatever. So then I begged you to cancel the bet because,
Okay.
again, I knew it was bad for you. You cancel it.
Reluctantly.
And then you're messaging me on Telegram. Help me set up Ollie Market. I want to take Pavia no. It's like, why would I want to deal with that?
I didn't just say it. First I asked you if you could get me some no, and then you said no, and then then you said set up an account. I said I don't think I can here, and I wasn't able to figure it out. So because I don't think we can get it here. But
I just, considering I had the goods, I had plus 340, and then you canceled it. I wasn't exactly interested in helping you get on the
Better price.
the price of it, no. Yeah, but in the end, I helped you out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
I still owe you Starbucks, which I have not forgotten, by the way. We got to set that up, and I also owe you dinner because I said when Pavia. Well, maybe Pavia could still win. By the way,
7%.
he could still very much win the high. There's a world where he wins. There could be a split. I don't know how people don't vote for Mendoza, but there might be a split. From people in the East
I
on
didn't
Mendoza.
watch the whole game. I was hosting a party. I was in and out. From what I saw, like I didn't think Mendoza played particularly well,
Yeah.
but he made like
the Heisman moment. That's it.
He
That's
had
what
the
you need.
Heisman moment.
That's what you need.
I just think Mendoza was pretty much locked to win if they won that game.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
to Peanut
yeah.
Better about this too, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Listen, like the percentage for Pavia was based on Ohio State winning.
Yes,
it was
exactly.
like almost a virtual guarantee, which we're seeing in market right now, like 94%. That if Indiana wins, even in a low-scoring game, that it's Mendoza. I'm getting cooked on that, by the way. I bet some Mendoza. No. What are you
We're
going
all
to do?
getting cooked in here.
Well, so if we come to a solution here, we're okay. We're back on talking terms.
Yeah, no,
We're
I'm
never
never
not on
mad at
talking
Kirk. I'm taking him to dinner. We're
yeah.
doing this
I didn't
dinner.
mean beef. I didn't mean like a real beef.
Yeah, we're
But
doing
you
this.
wrote me like
It's
a
an
long
uncomfortable.
message.
Don't say that.
I can imagine. what that-
No, don't say that.
Because he came in the office this morning. He's like, I hope you're going to defend me against Kirk when this comes
Because
up.
I thought maybe you were gonna say like, oh, you didn't have any money on the no. It's like, well, I tried to get money on the no, and that's
but
not
I
really.
don't care.
Okay,
But
okay,
hold
fair.
on. You
That is a
asked-
valid point.
Yeah,
And listen, I'll tell you this from my betting experience. If I thought something was so good that
I tried.
you,
I
you didn't
really
try hard enough.
I guess. Like,
You
I don't
try
know how
harder.
many people I could have. Like, you have to also understand. I have to trust the person as well. It can't just be
but
like.
China, Storm, like there's lots of options.
I don't know them that well. That's why. Like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, if I haven't
I
met them
think
in
you
person,
can trust them. If
I
they
could trust
you
China.
is
Yeah.
maybe
yeah.
the,
Well, no, you could based on the bet
Based
with
off the
Kirk. I feel
Starbucks
like
gift card you're gonna
Kirk
get
would have
there.
vouched for me.
Look at this. Wouldn't it be amazing if like Kanish stiffed you out of 5K and all the content we'd get out of it?
No.
This should be a lesson that adverse selection is real, but it doesn't feel like you're taking that lesson.
No, I'm not. I was right, and that's it. Well, again, I could still be wrong. I could still be wrong. Pavia could still win.
You were wrong. You were wrong.
No.
There's no if. If Mendoza wins, no one was debating that if Indiana won, Mendoza wasn't going to win.
Okay, then here's the problem is that we'll never know because
I have a
Ohio
silly
State didn't
question.
win. The path you needed was Ohio State to win, right?
This is a really sad
Yes.
question. But if I give a bet, like I promote a bet, even tout a bet, and the spread's a pick 'em,
Yeah.
and my team that I picked goes up 17-0.
Yeah.
Football.
Yep.
And the live line is like minus 1,800, minus 2,000 or something.
Yes.
But they lose the game. Am I allowed to say you could have gotten out at any time?
No,
like
no,
my
no,
pick
no.
was good.
No,
Look,
but-
look how the no. I'm not saying
That's
you're
a
wrong.
very fair-
I'm just
no, I think
saying.
that's a very
Look how
fair
the market
point.
You
responds.
judge your bet at the price you bet it at, though. And,
Yeah.
and in his case, when they were making the bet, he was getting 340.
The reason I'm saying that
It was
Jason
incredible. It was like
the
minus
reason I'm
200 at
saying
one
is
point.
Jason was wrong was because he said like it was already accepted. Like no one was debating. Like I didn't think Indiana. Like there was an edge on Ohio State versus Indiana. It was like all right, they're like plus 150. If Indiana wins, Mendoza's gonna win. The debate of the bet was if Ohio State wins, will Sayin win or will Pavia win Heisman? And then in the game, Pavia steamed to like minus 165. So unless you think that price was also completely
Well,
wrong.
it's also just all of that steam is coming from that same belief, which I believe was fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
You think if Ohio State wins that game, then Sayin wins.
No, maybe not in that game state, but in the current the current situation of what was happening, it was going to the play. Like it would have been an overtime game, and there were actually I know Kanish was saying that if they make the kick, Pavia is a good bet. If it goes to overtime, I think there's a case to be made that like it might be even worse for Pavia if that game goes to overtime, even with how bad that game state is, because it gives Julian Sayin more opportunity to score because they get the ball on like what is it, the 30? Yeah. So it's like it opportunity for you to look even better. Anyways,
Yeah, it's good to
We'll
know,
never know.
that you took.
We should have
zero
done a
lessons
mock.
from that. Zero lessons.
He's
we
dug
bring it
in.
up he's dug in, and he is not changing.
The opinion is not going to change. That's how we all are.
What?
That's how we're conditioned to be.
it was a good bet. You got to minus 200, and then
I will give you at the end of the day. You went on a weak rampage around the office. Stopped
I don't know about a rampage,
You
but
got in people's faces. You said Pavia is not winning the Heisman right now. You know, he's basically trading at.
there's still a chance for him to win.
Yeah, but you're coming out. I mean, looking okay.
And I will say, I will adorn the cape because there were some people that reached out to me who I actually think are sharp, who said that I actually agree with you on this, but I don't want to publicly say it. Because, like, you know what? Like,
Because I didn't want to go.
No, you can't drop that. That is not. No.
Are you being serious?
We were done with
I'm
this.
not gonna say anymore.
No, this is like the.
Why wouldn't they say it?
This is like the newspaper,
What are they afraid
clickbait
of?
newspaper.
But like, would they bet? Like they're betting it. They're just not. They don't want to like call out.
I got some. I think you might be right.
they
That's it.
they
That's
scared
it.
that the Australian
That's it.
syndicate is going to come
But
after
that
them.
mean?
like, why
Yeah.
would they be scared to say it? Like, you could have
That's it.
been right.
Why would someone be afraid to say?
Listen, because they don't want to go against the according to you, best futures better in the world.
Or they just don't want to write, like, get involved
But,
in
like,
like a Twitter thread,
Yeah.
but they agree with you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that doesn't mean that they.
I can't.
The Australians can get mean online every now and then. You know what?
That is true.
Those guys coming after you either. But all right, Jay, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate you.
Also, can I quickly say something? The TV setup was disgusting, horrible for the college football committee.
Yeah,
that
terrible.
That was the most
Awful.
ridiculous. Also, get rid of conferences. You guys are saying conferences mean dick all. Get rid of the conferences. Anyways.
Well, that seems like that's not going to happen.
No, the conferences they don't do anything.
All right.
They make money.
Hammer Daily tomorrow, 5 minutes from Jason on the top. Get rid of conferences and
Talked about it already today.
there you go. There you go.
I agree, but that doesn't seem realistic. So
That's
that's
what I'm
probably why
saying.
we
No.
didn't have that conversation, right?
Oh, that's
But in like pro sports, you could argue get rid of divisions.
from my perspective. This week was so funny. Like he would produce Hit the Books and he'd be like, "Hey Brad, like what do you think about this?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I fucking told these guys they're idiots and this and that." And then Kanish would go and he's like, "Well, I don't agree with you." Like, it's like so.
Not only that, though, you would send videos.
Oh yeah, when he was
Like
ranting in
every
the office
day,
last
what
week.
happened? Like he would have a freak out. I think every day last week. Anyone who came in this office,
Marching around
he
the
ranted to. Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
He's like LeBron though. He went to bed and he's like, "Fuck, I could have took that 5K from Kirk and I fucking got out of that bed." Fuck, you know.
Well, if you see a price you like here, you know, maybe Mendoza has it locked up in your opinion. He's trading at 94% on Kalshi. Pavia's trading at 7%. If you still think he has a chance, or if there's any other market you want to get involved with, you can do so with show sponsor Kalshi by scanning the QR code that is on screen now, or by heading to the link in the description, whether you are listening in audio form or watching at any point during today's episode of Circle Back. We're going to stay on the college football discussion a little bit here because Mr. Peanut Better of the Friday edition of Circle Back said, if you are a tout who is down on the year, I'd suggest that you probably don't have 5 game day edges on a 10-game board. Try to beat Tuesday lines? Nah, fire him up on anyone that can get 100K without issues. Those have edges. Do you guys ever seen anything like this in the market where you see a tout going after game day bets on these massive markets after a losing season?
Oh, of course. I mean, this happens regularly. Even by people who like say that they respect the market and like, I'm not good enough to beat game day stuff, and they still release on game day. I actually talked to a tout at Bet Bash this past year, which listen, I don't agree with what he's doing for like a living. He would have agreed with me that there's like a lot of misleading stuff that he potentially does as well. But his whole point was just like, Rob, people are paying me to give out picks. This is what they want. They want to be able to bet an NFL game. That's why they're paying me. I can tell them that I don't know that this is good. They still will probably bet it because that's why people are paying for picks. So it's kind of like this double-edged sword, right? From a sharp perspective, from my perspective, if I saw a tout releasing 5 games on game day in the NFL market, college football, that don't close well, I'd be like, this is worthless. It's worth shit. But you have to remember that there's a clientele that sadly, this doesn't make it right, but sadly, they are looking for that action. And they want to know what someone has on, Auburn, Alabama. They want to know what someone has on the Sunday night football game. And the tout might release it an hour before the game. I agree with the sentiment of the tweet. It bothers me. It drives me crazy. But there's a second perspective, sadly, where the tout feels almost obligated to give out picks into market. It's just a real sad state of affairs is what it comes down to.
I mean, I can see the logic.
Yeah.
And you say like bet an hour before the game. There could be a lot of his clients who can afford to lose a lot of money betting. They have good day jobs. They want to bet the game, but they're not even thinking about logging into their account till an hour before the game anyway. So that hour before the game is perfect timing.
Sure.
In some respects. And yes, in his head, he's like, I'm catering to these people. But then, unfortunately, there's a smaller subset of your clients who probably just real life fucked and betting bets they can't afford and are in debt and are shit out of luck and keep digging. And his thought would be I can't worry about those people.
But there's also the tout that is oblivious to how the markets work as well. And those are probably the vast majority of touts. I think that there certainly is a subsection that are hey, clients want picks, I'm going to give them picks on but there are people that just don't even know how the market works. They literally think that they are good enough on Sunday to bet half the board and they're going to win in the long run because they're delusional. They wouldn't be touting if they actually could, into those types of limits. But, listen, from my perspective, I always have, I try now, and I sincerely mean this, to be way more open-minded with the way I think about people. Pips was actually kind of the guy that changed it for me when we started having him on the network. And I'm well, he's selling a product, but I actually respect what he has to say. And he comes about it with some good logic, good analysis for the stuff. Plus then people started vouching to me that he wins and stuff like that. But with this entire landscape now, this is almost a surefire way of telling if someone knows what they're doing or not. It's the easiest way for me. Remember the old Flacco meter? I have a fraud meter in my head. If I see someone release into a market that's 100K or post this is a great bet and it doesn't close well and whatever, and they do it repeatedly, the fraud meter just hits to the right side every single time. So I very much resonate with what Peanut Better's saying here.
Yeah, I agree. And I just also think another thing he's saying is that at the end of the year, if a tout's down 6 units on college football, it's just kind of in that Touts'
Best interest.
best interest
Yeah.
to release a lot of plays, because no difference if the Tout ends the year down 6 units or down 11, but if they could be +3, then they're in the green.
100%. There is absolutely a very strong correlation between a Touts record for the year in a sport and how many plays they release going forwards.
For sure.
If you're up 20 units in the NFL, you're not firing 10 games a week anymore. Now all of a sudden, the markets have caught up. It's harder to find edges. It's one because you gotta preserve that record that you're gonna promote next year. And when you're down, it's basically a free roll.
100%.
I mean, if you finish down in the sport, the next season you're just promoting whatever else. Short-term record, your record across all sports, whatever it is. So, it's just it's a very predictable industry. A lot of people don't see it, but there is the other element to it where people just want plays no matter what. Whether they have an edge or not, just feed me the plays, and it's kind of sad.
All right.
Don't think it's sad that people want plays.
Don't you think it is though?
No, they're just like I'm just looking at it from
Yeah.
the subset of people who love watching football. Went through all of college and they're early 30s thinking I know sports. I don't need it. My ego of sports betting. I watch all the games.
Yeah.
So I can have opinions.
Yeah.
And then they get to the point where they still love sports and they like to bet on sports, but they know their opinion. They have enough of a sample to know what they think is sort of useless. And I'm home and I'm going to bet these games. Give me someone who's doing a bit of research, even if it's not the right amount of research.
Yeah.
And I'm strictly talking about people who can make sense. I don't know, who are betting more for entertainment. Not nothing. I'm talking about 100, 200, 500 would be their biggest bet of the season.
Yeah.
And most of their bets are 200.
Yeah, no, I think what's sad is that probably in I'm just estimating 98% of cases, even though this person knows that they're not winning on their own bets, they're probably still just better off betting their own bets.
That's exactly what
Because now they're just going to be paying
Probably.
on top of it for another person who's not winning and they're losing even. That's what's sad about the whole. I get it. I get that somebody wants action. They're I want plays, but they can't recognize that they're buying from someone who's just as bad as they are. There is no process there. That's the sad part for me. It's not that they want the action. That can be sad if it's over the top as well.
Of course.
But I completely get it. There's afternoon football games. You're fuck, I don't know who either of these teams are, and I just want to watch the game and have a play on it. Sure, I'll pay for this
All
guy's
through
pick.
the holidays, there's some random bowl game. With
But
two teams
literally,
you never watched
they are better
before.
off just flipping a coin themselves and picking the side of the game.
100%.
Yeah.
We can move into a brand new discussion here on our next topic, which is referencing a mention market for Thursday night football commentary, because we had Trent, Booking with Trent, say, just found a whale for Thursday night football, announced it to say, what a catch during the broadcast. And we had at Foster reply and say, the feeling when I've got 4,200 on what a catch, no, for Thursday night football tonight. And the fade god himself posted slip holding yes. What a catch was not said on the broadcast. There were many variations. There was so many what a moments. There was 13 in particular. But this one must really sting. The commentator literally said, what a somehow catches that ball. He was on the verge of saying what a catch and went, what a somehow catches that ball. And it ends up losing for Trent. Really like that. Do we like these mention markets, Rob, for football games?
So I've said my piece on mention markets, and I think they are kind of stupid, especially when we're talking about the CEO on the earnings call just dropping a bunch. This one makes a little bit more sense, although they could still be. I'm not saying people are getting to Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit or anything like that. They still could be manipulated, but it is in this context, it's a pretty incredibly fun sweat. In this context, what a job, what a block, everything except a catch in this game. From my own personal, Trent has infiltrated every single one of my group chats to the point now where when Trent bets on something and someone else has bet on the same thing, they drop it in and they're like, oh no, we're fucked. Like he has become that personality, and stuff like this only like grows the legend more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the most insane thing I just can't describe it, but I find it so hilarious.
I will say that I think the people, I'm not saying they influence the markets, but I know enough people in the spaces that are like part of production teams that have shown me like pictures of the group chats of like the producers on the show that also have the host in the show being like, this is like on the market. Like, you know, they're like having fun with it themselves. So I think it's gotten to the point now, like the prediction markets, like I saw our boys sign the deal with CNN. Like it doesn't get more mainstream.
Oh, 100%. Look. And I mean, this was through Prize Picks, but it was a prediction market, right? We
And
talked
they
about
know.
this 2 weeks ago.
So I would say like the hosts of the shows, I don't think they care what the markets are saying. It'd be like telling a football player your over-under catches. It's like, okay, why? I don't even need to know that. But it only takes one or two hosts to want to pay for a family vacation to Disney.
It's true.
Like they're not even trying to like scam anybody. They're like, holy shit, you see the cost of Disney? Really want the princess experience for my girls? Honey,
All I got to say,
I got this.
You know, what a catch. And what harm am I doing? Well, if there's someone on the other end of that trade, unfortunately.
But I think if you're betting this stuff without like thinking you have hard info,
I would not go there. I agree.
you deserve whatever.
I agree.
You deserve, like, even if it's rigged, you deserve whatever fate comes.
I agree with that as well. Of like, if you're betting on an NFL game and you find out it's rigged, you should be angry. If you're betting on the announcer to say what a catch, and it turns out they knew about it and said what a catch intentionally, like that's just how it goes. Like it sucks to suck. But yeah, I think it's probably a bad market overall, but this was really funny. Like that's a really, really funny use case. Yeah. But again, it's just so easily manipulated. I do not think that these markets are going to last long.
Rewind to like even 10 years ago, but go even further back and just think about where we are at. Like when we used to talk about spread, like NFL games at work, and we just like used to bet the spread, and then props came along. And now you got people who have $300, $4,000 sweats on what the commentators are going to say.
We used to like lose our mind. A Brent Musburger like betting innuendo.
Yeah,
we used to like lose our mind that it hit the broadcast.
Yeah, like you could. Mr. Peanut Butter loves these types of markets. You could theoretically take the transcripts of all Thursday night football games all year and see how many times what a catch actually was said. You could evaluate the matchup. You know, Dallas is playing Detroit. Detroit plays a lot of man coverage. Dallas has CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Dak throws to them one-on-one a lot. There's an opportunity for a big catch. Like, imagine handicapping that. Like, actually handicapping it. It's another level I don't want to go down.
Imagine doing the cut-up. The guy who put the effort into doing the clip for us to laugh out of all the cutaways.
Amazing. There are 13 different, what an adjustment. What a job. Somehow catches that ball.
That should be like such a point of pride for Trent.
Yeah.
That someone took I lost my bet and someone is like, I'm so famous, lack of a better word.
Yeah.
I'm so big on this internet thing that someone has now spent like 2 hours cutting that.
Clipping this for me. Yeah. Crazy.
We're going to get into the comments in just a moment here. Before we do, let's hear about the giveaway winner from last week's episode.
Absolutely. So we're giving away a package every single week. That's going to include a Circles Off hoodie right here, a few other things as well. All you got to do to be entered into that is drop a comment down below. Once this show is done, going live, leave us a comment. Anything that we talked about on the show today just has to be relevant to that. Any of the topics. We want to get some more discussion going. Our giveaway winner from last week is at Ryan, RYNE 16. Ryan 16, all you got to do, email us at circlesoff@thehammer.bet. Get us your sizing, your address, your location, everything like that. and we will get one shipped off to you here, hopefully before the holidays, maybe in the new year as well. But just email us, circlesoff@thehammer.bet. Also, as of this week, you're going to be entered into the draw for every comment you post. Again, has to be on topic. I don't want this to be a spam thing where people are just giving thumbs up, this and that. Do appreciate those as well. But if you comment on anything we talked about, if you reply to someone else's post, you keep the discussion going. Every single one of those comments will earn you one entry into the random draw for next week. And we're going to keep giving away these, and we got some more swag coming on the way as well. So stay tuned for that.
So here are the comments that we're going to feature on the show from the previous week's episode, starting off with Kevo1011, who said, an aspect of going for 2 down 9 thing that has been mentioned much is that you give yourself the opportunity to possibly win the game in regulation if you go for 2 again after converting. Should this be factored in a little bit more, Kirk?
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Not like, again, I think we talked about it last week, of all this stuff is pretty marginal, and this is another marginal one, but again, it's marginal in your favor. It's still better.
Yeah. I think this just lends itself to the fact that people always, the tendency is always to focus on the downside of not, what happens if you don't get it versus what happens if you get it. It's a results-based analysis. Anyways, very valid point by Kev. Totally agree with it. Sometimes you have to focus on what the positives could be, and winning in regulation, you're not playing for overtime in the end. You're playing to win. Winning in regulation is a 100% guarantee. It's not a 50-50 like an overtime proposition is.
Next comment comes from Eaton Beaver 1981, who says, I'm with Geoff. I always thought legalized weed and sports betting would be great. Now I wish we'd go back to the days where it wasn't so mainstream. I missed this stuff being sort of wink wink amongst people who know. Now I've got my mother-in-law asking me shit about sports betting. Geoff, what do you think?
Yes, in my brain, I do wish we could go back. But listen, I was in a bit of a jam the other day and wanted something. And, couldn't get, all I had to do was walk 3 blocks.
Yeah.
And I got it.
Yeah.
Instead of having to wait for someone on drug dealer time. Mm-hmm. Because I'm also so old where, sometimes I want things earlier in the day, drug dealer time, they won't even answer a text before 4 o'clock. I remember drug dealer time.
Yeah.
When I'll be there in 20 means I'll be there in 3 hours. So I keep going back and forth. But it was nice to walk 3 blocks and get what I needed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to turn this into a legalized weed discussion, but just from my perspective, the ability to buy pre-rolls is life-changing relative to sitting there. I have essential tremors is what it's called. It's I shake, my body shakes, my legs, I can't roll anymore. There are some positives to that.
And you got an edge on a game, it's in my phone. Yeah. It's in my pocket. I can
bingo.
I don't have to
get
drive
down
around
in a million
imagine
different
drive
spots.
around town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I would still prefer weed to be legal and sports betting to be legal, but I think in both cases it was all right, they're legal, now let's step on the gas and go 200 miles per hour. It's all right, maybe we don't need a weed store 7 times on every block. Yeah. Maybe one every few blocks is a good thing. Maybe we don't need an ad every single commercial during a sporting event. Maybe you max those out, So I just think it was how hard we stepped on the gas was the problem, not just the legalizing it.
A little bit of foreshadowing here, but maybe we don't need to get a push alert when we haven't placed a bet on a book half an hour prior to the game, Christ.
Yeah, but if you get those cappers that send you the picks a half hour before the game, those push alerts, they know those touts are sending those.
No, you get a push alert and you're like, oh, you haven't placed a bet on the Leafs Rangers tonight, and you're like, you know what, fuck, I'm gonna have to buy a pick now on the Leafs Rangers, of course. Keeps the ecosystem working.
Final comment comes from Huckleberry Finn 8795, who says, I disagree with Big Blue Jay. This was a comment about enjoying sports less because they're betting on it now. And it says, I stopped watching sports a decade ago. Now that I got into sports betting, I watch mostly because of that. I think it's so fun rooting for both teams to score because I bet the over or vice versa. It is so much more fun rooting for so many different things in the game because of my bets instead of just one team to win a game. And I kind of see the side of this where my enjoyment of the NFL has increased tremendously since I started betting. So what do you guys make of this one?
Yeah, I think there's there's engagement and real like love for watching the sport. Those are two different things, right? So you can be highly engaged with a product, but you don't necessarily love it. It's just stimulating in a sense. I think that's kind of what sports betting has become, at least for me. And that can be a good and bad thing, but it's really, I think, very dependent on the person. I think if you polled a larger group of people, you'd get a bunch of different answers on this. I prefer watching sports with a bet on it. The guys on Friday were roasting my take about betting big man. I had an Andre Drummond over half assist in a game. Like, I love those types of bets because I can watch a full game. I can root for it. It's never dead. And these guys are like, oh, terrible. You know, Mr. Peanut Butter. Like, what the hell's Rob talking about? This is like the worst bet. It's not an under half where you're like, you're on the edge of your seat the whole game and like praying that there's no, you're cheering for stuff to happen. That to me makes sports super fun. I love having props like that, bets like that. So for me, it enhances the experience, but some people might say the complete opposite. And I don't know, it could go back and forth.
The Drummond one's funny because I would way rather sweat an under half assist than over half assist. Like, not even close. I just like betting unders because it feels like you're winning right when the game starts.
Sure, but I hate watching on. Like, I'm doing a live watch along tonight of Eagles Chargers. I have a little bit on the under. I don't even want to be on air.
Fight that clock. Fight that clock the whole game.
It
like
depends on the
battle.
sport.
Yeah.
It depends on the sport and the bet, but like a player who doesn't like under half a reception, under half an assist, it's like I love those bets because like you're enjoying watching. Fine, sometimes maybe you're a little scared. And then it's over, and it's like, okay, it's kind of done. They got one catch. It's over. You're done sweating. Obviously, if it ends really quick, it sucks. But, yeah, like, I find if I have a serious amount of money on something, then it makes it much less enjoyable to watch. But, like, yesterday, Tampa versus
New Orleans.
Like, the field was all chopped up. I'm like, oh, the defenders aren't going to be able to move. Like, and I put, like, 20 cents, literally 20 cents on, like, some ridiculous SGP for, like, a game script. And, like, then I'm, like, watching and having fun, and I do enjoy that. Or putting $5 on a parlay with friends. Like, that, to me, does make it much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But, like, seriously, like, having a big sweat, I do not like that at all.
Some are saying that after the start to your NBA season, 20 cents is actually your bet size now, standard bet size.
That's a fair point. I was in the green this week.
Yeah,
I think.
good. There we
It's
go.
actually
God.
crazy. If I have like a smaller bet, I'll sweat it so much harder. My biggest bets, I don't even like watching.
Yeah,
Totally.
I
I'm
don't
with
even
you.
like watching. I'll
Completely
literally like go for like I'll literally be able to check out. And if I have like a smaller, $50 parlay that pays like $3,000, I like want to know like hawk that first leg, like fucking psychopath.
Well, like when I was young, I was a big NBA fan. And I think part of that was because I used to watch highlights every day. Like I'd wake up the next morning, I'd watch Sports Desk before it was Sports Center and the highlights for every sport. And I loved every sport. I would be into it, but it's kind of fallen off for me. A way to get me back on it has just been betting props. I don't want to have huge bets on NBA sides, but betting a few props per game here and there and then turning it on, it makes it more enjoyable for me. I can actually watch it. I'm picking up on a lot more stuff. I'm like getting back into the sport through betting, and that's very enjoyable for me.
Well, I'll say this. I think it absolutely makes you more knowledgeable because you bet a few CFL unders, and I'll tell you, you'll instantly know the clock rules better than the refs, the refs and announcers. And I mean that. I'm not joking.
The 3-minute warning instead
all,
of the 2-minute
all
warning.
of it, and how that clock works inside those 3 minutes. I'm an expert.
Reminder to not only comment something for the sake of the giveaway for next week, but potentially get featured on the show next week when we go through comments in the segment. And while you're down in the comment section, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And the next topic comes from, once again, Dave Portnoy crashing out about something to do with sports. And in this one, it was in the Raiders-Broncos game. He said, prison for everybody. That's the biggest rig job I've ever seen. Investigate the NFL. Investigate Pete Carroll. Investigate the Raiders. And what happened was the Broncos were up by 10 points. Clock was winding down. Raiders were making a push to try and get a score, onside kick, and another score. Clock was about to run out, but then there was a flag for holding down the receiver who made a catch. So that stopped the clock with 5 seconds left. So the Raiders thought, all right, let's kick a field goal, make it a 7-point game. Maybe there's enough time after that to get an onside kick and a touchdown. But Dave Portnoy was not happy about that. He was not happy the Raiders were even trying to score, even trying to make a push. He was unhappy about the flag that happened, and he absolutely crashed out. It felt quite performative to me, but he was definitely upset a bit about this one. Do you think there's merit to being upset there, Rob?
Well, yeah, listen, when you bet on sports and you suffer what is a bad beat, you're going to be upset about it, right? He came under a lot of fire. I don't remember exactly what verbiage he used, but it was something along the lines of Pete Carroll should be murdered, and he had to issue like an apology this morning, which was the funniest apology. And he's like, listen, I meant it like hypothetically we should murder Pete Carroll. Like, I don't want to do violence to the guy, but hypothetically, in that moment, I had the under in that game, okay? I pushed some of the total. I lost more of my bet on the 40. This is the second week in a row I've bet a Raiders game where there's been a late game penalty that 2 weeks ago, Max Crosby just fucking destroys Justin Herbert away from the play for no reason, gets a 15-yard penalty, it's goal to go, the Chargers score a touchdown. This one was egregious, but this goes back to like a conversation we have last week, right? And Portnoy runs a sports betting media company. He is looking for clicks. I think first and foremost, he is conditioned to think about what can I do for clicks. He's upset in the moment. He turns on a camera, he rants, he posts it, and that's what he's going to do. The problem that I have is that we live in this era now, which we've talked about now for months, of now everyone thinks that the game, it's rigged. It's rigged. It's fixed. Look what they did. Okay, now I can't tell you why Pete Carroll kicked the field goal there, but I can tell you one thing. It made absolutely no sense for them to throw a Hail Mary because there's 5 seconds left in the game. That's the most likely scenario where your players get hurt, jumping up for a ball. You literally can't win the game. Could they have kneeled on the ball and ran out the clock? Absolutely, they could have, but they didn't at the start of the drive. They started the drive down 10, and they said, we're still possibly in this game.
And when the Broncos had the ball, they used their timeouts when they could have just not and let the game run out.
Correct. Listen, I watched every second of this end game. The Raiders got a timeout in at 2:01 when the play clock had gone to the 2-minute warning, and the ref said, let's put it back to 2:01. And that changed the entire end game scenario here because the Broncos had to run one more play. But the Broncos didn't give. Sean Payton was in the mode of like, we're done. They went for it on 4th and 3. They could have kicked the field goal and put the game over the total. No one questioned that in real time. Sean Payton just ran the ball and said, like, we're done. I think he kind of just wanted Pete Carroll to kneel, but they didn't. And this was there was no chance they're going to win the game. But if maybe in 10 billion times that they played it, maybe there was one where you could have got a line drive field goal in with like 2 seconds left, recovered an onside kick and thrown it. It's the only like logical play there, in my opinion. I don't like, even though it's illogical, I have no problem with them kicking that field goal. It's just part of what you're betting on.
I had the Raiders 7.5, so I was very happy. And I wasn't even watching. I was so focused on the Packers-Bears game that when I like loaded up that score again to see they kicked it, so happy. That's fine. That doesn't matter. I will say, though, sometimes you see in college where like a coach wants to cover. And if gambling is so prominent,
good point.
And I got fans, I'm just going to cover.
Yep.
When we can't lose, when we can't win, try and cover.
Yep.
If that becomes more of like a thing, as gambling becomes more of a thing, I'm not saying that's what happened here, but it's definitely in the range now. I like Dave. I think quite highly of Dave. Like what he built.
Yep.
Because I know where I was sitting, where he built it, and it just seemed impossible.
Yeah.
Right, sitting in a newsroom with you at the time, that could exist, just didn't seem real.
Yeah.
And he did it. So I have so much respect for him. I hated this.
Yeah.
I hated this. Because he's like your Dave fucking Portnoy. One bet should not make you do that. One bet, one loss, as good or bad as it is, and I know he bets a lot, but I know part of their brand is like fun, unhealthy gambling.
Yeah.
But that bothered me a lot because there are a lot of people who follow you where like one bet is the difference between Like, he even did a video of like buying ramen in the grocery store because he hadn't hit a parlay or something.
Right.
In a while.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
that
the
turned me off fucking too.
Also, like,
A lot of like that bothered me too.
not that DK is going to have a lot to say. They kind of know what they're getting into with the, but like, if I was someone at DK, forget about what you like think is going on behind the scenes with responsible gaming and stuff, whether it's a sham or they want the messaging to be like, we care, we're concerned. So when stuff like this comes out from a DK partner, I especially think it's a bad look, but like, you can be tilted. That's fine. I'm not saying never record a video of you being tilted. That's totally acceptable. Being tilted enough to say like the head coach should be murdered of one of the teams, I can take a joke, and a lot of people can't, is the real problem out there. It just creates it's this culture of like, you're no longer responsible for your own bets. It's everything else. I don't like it. I'm with you, Geoff. I'm a Barstool guy. I have been for a long time. I like a lot of the stuff we do. It was cringeworthy to me watching it.
And even just him promote like one bet. If one bet is going to do that to you, you just should not be betting.
Yeah. Agreed.
Full stop.
Yeah. Agreed.
Like, one bet should not matter that much. And when I spend Sundays with my casual friends, like, I know this might sound like corny, but like, yes, like a bad beat sucks. And they bet their thing, oh, we're going to go on this trip. And if I win this bet, I got to like pay for this thing or that thing. Like, that's how they look at like betting. It's not like long-term like you guys.
It's like they might have a little more disposable income to spend.
Yeah, that's all. Like, that's what it's about. Like, if this bet wins today, like, I'm doing this. Right? It's not anywhere close to like how you guys view a bet. But at the same time, like, no one bet. If one bet is going to do that to someone, I don't know. Now, like, I've just so many like, oh, I have 1,000 to 1 future. Like, you know what I mean when I'm making this.
No,
point.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Just, I don't know. That's what bothers me.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the point on Carroll knowing the spread, I actually had that exact conversation last night. Like, I think that's extremely possible. Like, why wouldn't these coaches know the spread? It's talked about so much. And, like, in that spot where it's like, okay, you could kneel, you could kick a field goal, you could Hail Mary. It's kind of like all those options kind of suck. Why not just cover the spread? You know your fans are going to be on your spread for sure. And then, yeah, I don't really want to give. I agree with you guys that this was like a terrible look. I will say, like, if I lost a bet like that, I would fucking lose my mind.
But I did lose.
You
that.
did.
But it wasn't even Carroll kicking. It was the
Not
ref.
the Carroll,
It was
just the fact that the flag.
Yeah.
It was so over. They had to score a touchdown with 2 minutes left. Like, I don't know. It was just a really.
I gotta tell you,
Not
especially
according to
when
China.
you bet an under, like, I personally am always thinking about the ways I can lose. Right? And
Me too.
And at one point in the game, it's 24-7 late in the fourth quarter. Kenny Pickett's in for Gino. I'm like, here we fucking go. Gino can't move the ball. Like, Kenny Pickett throws like a dime over the middle of the field between the safety and quarterback. They score a touchdown. Now I'm thinking Denver, I'm like, oh my God, an onside kick. Denver's going to recover it. They move into field goal territory. But the clock's winding down. I'm like, Sean Payton, I know Sean Payton is not going to kick this field. I don't know why. I knew in real time. And I'm like, fuck.
Not kicking the field goal is part because if you miss the field goal, you give them those, like, with the amount of time left, those yards, those 15, 12 yards are part of that.
But the guy literally Peyton runs the ball on 4th and 3. Like, the white flag, like, this game is done. What are we doing here? And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, please, Pete, just come out. I know you're using timeouts, but like, just kneel on the ball. Dallas kneeled on the ball against Pete Carroll on Monday Night Football at the goal line.
That was because Schottenheimer, that's like his mentor.
Yes. But definitely this happens in the NFL where...
But it's Rob, it's always something. Like, you got hosed in that Charger game 2 weeks ago, not just because of Mason Crosby's fumble, but because the Chargers had a 6-year practice squad running back in the game who'd never played in the league.
Yeah.
The coach wanted to get him a touchdown.
Yeah.
So they were like running aggressively when they got to goal. Because it's like, this lifer practice squad guy is in the game now, and coach is like, we're getting him in the end zone. That's the only reason you got... It was set up by a penalty, but there was then another confluence of events that screwed you.
Yeah. I can just tell you this. When I saw the Raiders field goal team coming out on the field, my actual real life reaction was I was laughing. Because I was just
Murder
like...
Pete Carroll.
I'm like, this is just unbelievable. Like, you know when you're just there and you're like, I can't believe this is happening, but it wasn't an anger. That's not to say I've never been tilted. I obviously have. We've been there.
Zilbert says by the half point
You know, if I did,
on a total.
It would have been a push. Someone in my replies on Twitter said something saying, "Good thing I bought the 41." I'm like, "Good thing you did, man. What am I going to tell you? Like, this is not to give you this is not the time to give you a lesson on not buying that half point. You know."
We got one more full topic on the show today. Before we go to that, let's hear about the Discord we have at the Hammerbed Network. And Rob, there's something that's coming that does every Monday night for football.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime touchdown scores, I post my fair values in the Discord in the NFL chat. All you got to do is just sub to the our Discord, discord.gg/hammer. The link is down in the description below. And then you can subscribe to alerts whenever I post my touchdowns at Rob ATD. As soon as I post them, you'll just get notified on your phone. But regardless, I mean, the conversations in there are really good. People are always asking, like, their Twitter DMs absolutely stink right now. They added this chat. They're broken.
Yeah,
Why
I can't
are they
respond
both
to people.
running simultaneously?
It doesn't make any sense. I respond
Pick
from my
one or
phone.
the
I can't
other.
see it from the computer.
I put the wrong password and I get it wrong every time.
It's just
now.
a disaster.
I cannot get that.
So if you want to talk ball with me, stop DMing me because I'm not seeing them. Come over to the Discord. I'm very accessible. I chat ball with people every single day. All our creators are in there as well. So discord.gg/hammer.
And you can sign up to the Discord for free with the link in the description, no matter where you are watching or listening. Actually, unless it's Twitter. You should probably come over to YouTube if you're on Twitter, get involved with the live chat. Last full topic we have on the show today comes from Round Robin Isaac at Round Robin 42, who we've seen on the Friday show sometimes of Circle Back. And he got a late night profit boost from Hard Rock Bet. It says, close the weekend strong, bet live table tennis. 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and use your 10% profit boost for boosted late night wins. And then he posted a screenshot in reply of Hard Rock's commitment to delivering full Hard Rock experience, which includes only legendary entertainment, but also a commitment to player safety and responsible gambling.
Put it in the file.
Geoff.
Put it in the file. Residents of Florida, like one day in the future, you will get to sign up on the internet. You'll put your name and your address and your email, and you'll be returned when the class action lawsuit hits. You'll get a little nibble.
Yep.
Just put it in the file because it's going in the court case.
Yeah, like we said maybe 2 topics ago of sports betting being legal isn't necessarily bad, but fully going down on the gas and allowing literally anything, this very much falls in the bucket of literally anything.
This isn't Domino's telling me there's a great sale on right now,
And the
there's a
fact-
game night deal.
Live table tennis, like to put in bet live table tennis on top of the 11 p.m. to
Table
6
tennis is
like,
fucking
what are we
crazy,
doing?
man.
I gotta tell you, this is awful. It's terrible. I don't blame I don't blame the book for this because they're allowed to do, like, at the end of the day, like each book. I'm not saying that Hard Rock doesn't.
It's like a college
care.
coaches situation. Like they have their own moral compass, but they're not breaking a rule.
Exactly. It's like they want touch points with the user. That's why we have all these apps. They want to be able to give you like real-time marketing. The regulators need to not allow this shit. There's no reason for them to be like to have to send this to people. Like just put some restrictions in place at a state level, at a provincial level that protects the consumer from getting a fucking alert like this in the middle of the night and being like, I'm going to go and play. I don't know how these actually work. I don't know what the click-through rates are. They're probably low, but it's obviously a joke. Like you can't just let these books operate however the fuck they want to. This isn't the Wild Wild West. There's repercussions to sending out stuff like this, and just limit it, because the sports book, at the end of the day, they want to make money. They're in the business of making money. There's board of directors, there's shareholders. Like they're going to do it. So unless you stop it at a regulatory level, then it's going to keep happening, and we're going to sit here and complain about it forever. But it's obviously nonsense. It's bullshit that they're allowed to.
Yeah, out of all the like ridiculous sports books, like stuff that they're allowed to do, I honestly think push notifications might be the number 1 on the list. And this is obviously a completely egregious version of the push notification. But like the fact that all the betting is in your phone, and now these companies are allowed to notify you and say, "Oh, come bet." It's like it just so obviously linked to problem gambling, and so obviously designed to get problem gamblers, because no normal person is getting this and being like, oh, I'm going to go bet, but someone who's addicted to gambling would.
The sad thing is, if they did this in like the 10 minutes before a big UFC or boxing main event that goes off at like 12:30 midnight, I wouldn't think it's as like egregious. I'm like, okay, tentpole event, send out your push note, but the ping pong, it takes it to a level that is, you are like attacking the weak and I don't want to say poor, but you're attacking the weak, like the lowest, the weakest in our community. You're going after them.
I thought initially when I saw this, it was tennis, in which Isaac bets a lot. So I was like, yeah, it's pretty bad, but I guess I've seen worse. Then I clocked it was table tennis betting, and that's when it got a little bit crazy for myself as well. So pretty bad look there. Let's move now into the chopping block. The final segment on the show where we go through topics that we didn't think required a main feature on the show. But we still wanted to touch on nonetheless. And we start off with the FIFA World Cup draw. And in particular, we have Wayne Gretzky doing the draw for pot 4. Now, watching this live, me and my friends were all excited to see Shaq, who is doing pot 2, mispronounce names because Shaq is quite notorious for that. However, Shaq was pretty good. It was Wayne Gretzky who we had to worry about doing pot 4. He said Curacao as Curacao or something.
Yep.
He said North Macedonia as Macedonia. And he even had an absolute layup. He just had to say Jordan. And he said Jordan.
Jordan.
Among other mispronunciations there. Overdrive, TSN show at Overdrive 1050. Had a bit of fun with it. And we had J-Rock who said, Wayne Gretzky really pronounced Jordan of all countries like that with an imaginary accent. It was pretty... I felt like embarrassed for him. It was so bad. And the biggest thing for me is he knew he was doing this draw. He knew he was doing pot 4. He could have just simply rehearsed or looked up how to pronounce all the names before he got there. And he was saying during the show, why am I getting all these names? You knew you were getting these names. You knew what you were going to get ahead of time. But I thought it was really bad. What did you think, you guys?
Maybe he didn't know, because I'm going to be the apologist for these hockey players. Wayne Gretzky probably left home at 11 or 12 years old to go play like junior hockey.
Sure.
And that's when his schooling essentially ended.
Jeff O'Neill, who is in this, if anyone is on my far right here, he admitted, I think in the show that last week, that he hasn't read a book since the 4th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, like 1992, 91, like top 5 draft pick.
His brother was one of my teachers.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gretzky should have been more like prepared.
Jeff.
You practice before you're going out for something as international as this. But they railroaded him by giving him the pod with like the 8 name quadrants.
I'll tell you this. Listen, Curacao, I can give some people a pass for that. Our social guy, Mike, was in the office this morning. He was going through the groups. He said Curacao or something like that. I corrected him. For people who don't know, they don't know. Jordan. Okay, Wayne Gretzky has probably golfed with Michael Jordan like 24 times. How do you not look at Jordan and
He
say
was like fancy. It's a country. He doesn't
Jordan? Like
How do you say Macedonia?
It's
bad.
How does he pronounce it
embarrassing.
Macedonia? It's M-A-C-E. There's no other way to pronounce those 4 letters. Mac?
Well, I don't. Even then, I could.
It was a bad look. It was a bad
It was
look.
a bad look.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny. I was dying of laughter. I mean, I could tell you right now,
And
I'm all in on World Cup. I've already bet some futures. I've been looking.
How's Canada looking?
I'm deep in the weeds, and not the best draw. You want to avoid 2 European teams, usually. Switzerland, pretty underrated, I would say.
Agreed.
Potentially could be Italy right behind us, like in the first matchup of in Toronto here. Not the best.
In front of you.
I think I'm
Yeah,
going
right in
to,
front, opposite side.
I think I'm going to Germany, Ivory Coast.
Beauty.
Oh, nice. That'll be a good game.
Africa versus Europe. That's the game for me.
I think a lot of the Torontonians were like disappointed because we could have gotten like a England game. They chose to put that, I think, in Dallas. I mean, Dallas seats
no
like
England game.
90,000 people.
We
This
did
stadium seats
We did
half
get
of
the Germany
it.
game, as Jeff said.
Yeah, so But whatever.
We got one Canada
be cool.
game.
Yeah.
That if it's Italy, it's going to cost more than the World Series.
Price has already gone up. It's gone up a lot because me and my friends have been looking at tickets. It's shot up
they're
quite a
gonna be
lot
insane.
since that
It's-
draw.
it's
Italy's
actually-
not even confirmed in the tournament yet.
Yeah, they're not. Italy has to win a four-team playoff with Northern Ireland, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and I believe Wales.
It's not quite like if the Italian soccer team played at MetLife, but Canadian relevant tiered. It's exactly what it's like.
As someone, listen, I've cheered for Italy in every major soccer tournament of my life because my grandparents are born in Italy, right? So I would cheer for Canada against Italy, but it would definitely feel weird because when we grew up, like Canadian soccer wasn't a thing, right? It was just hockey was the Canadian thing, and now it's weird to have that. So like I'm kind of conflicted because imagine cheering for a team your entire life. Then you're like, well, obviously I shouldn't cheer for this team. This is like my native country. I'm Canadian. It will be really, really weird for me in that environment. I'll tell you this, it's a nightmare for a Canada home game in Toronto for Italy to potentially be the first opponent. Like there is an overwhelming number of Italians in Toronto.
like we're going to get made fun of for how we got invaded in our World Cup
Yeah,
opener.
Exactly.
on home
Canada
soil.
can't even host a World Cup properly. There's it's like a home game for Italy because it's going to be a very big split. It really will be. Any like big European team you would get that here. So, but I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for World Cup. I actually do love international soccer tournaments. It's one of my favorite things, even as someone who's not like a diehard soccer fan.
At least you could park here for free.
Nah, not for free.
Well, I assumed you had a spot. But.
No, I pay for parking like the average, like the common man. What do you think this is?
We were supposed to get 2 free spots.
That's what
here,
I thought. I
and it just
assumed
never
like
happened.
I assumed someone part of this lease was getting a free spot.
The lease, I got the deal of a lifetime on this. Okay. I didn't get the free parking spots at the end of the day, but no one shrewd negotiator here. Let's put it that way.
Next one on the chopping block, we had it from 60 Minutes, where they said one of Polymarket's biggest bettors has wagered more than $400 million so far. He says he's made nearly $3 million last year on the platform. And we had Nim at Nim_Chimsky_ says a scary number of people think this is less than a 1% return. Where's the confusion coming from, Kirk?
Yeah, this is like the classic sports betting ROI debate of like someone, has won a certain amount and people say, oh, you could have won more putting money into the stock market this year. Sports betting, you can do every day. The returns aren't annualized. You're doing it every day. And also, obviously, he probably didn't start with, like, he doesn't have 400 million to bet with.
Yeah, that's
he has
cumulative.
Exactly. That's what it's accumulating throughout all his bets. So like, yeah, if you're betting something that's a 1% edge every single day, your return or ROI is going to like completely dwarf anything. So yeah, there were a lot of funny replies to this. Like there was a lot of like, oh my God, that like this is the best trader. Like I've seen people in crypto make like 10x this. I saw a lot of those comments. I saw a lot of people saying a lot of people think he lost 397 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are not very familiar with how this.
Also, it says he's wagered more than 400 million so far, but has won 3 million the last year. So it's possible it's over.
Yeah, that's
more
also
than just 1 year. The 400 million comes
probably
from.
true as well. He probably is Oh yeah, the 400 million is over multiple years. He won 3 million last year. It was an interesting interview. Like there were some things he said that I was kind of like, wow, I don't know. Like, did you hear the JD Vance one?
I did.
Like that one, I was like, is that an edge or is that did he get lucky?
Yeah.
But I think he even said that, and he's clearly a sharp guy. I've DM'd him a few times actually.
When Jacob first started working with us, he was a very novice square bettor. Over time, he picked up a lot of the principles of betting to the point now where he's a winning bettor. We gave him the platform here on Circles Off to do a video where he talked about like going from losing better to winning better. And he posted his Bet-Stamp account, which was roughly how many plays, Jacob, were tracked? A lot. It was
I think like 4,000.
4,000 plays.
Maybe
where he
more.
had a 2% ROI, public, and then like his private plays 3.9% or whatever. So many of the comments on that video, if you read them now, are exactly in line with this.
Done better on a
2%
US
ROI.
Treasury.
First of all, like 98% of bettors lose. So first and foremost, just by winning, he's in the top 2% of bettors straight away right there. But people don't understand like how the reinvestment works in sports betting here. Like stock market, you put $10,000 into a stock, you leave it there for a year, you make 2%, you made a couple $100. In sports betting, you turn that over on a daily basis, right? You're constantly reinvesting, so it's not apples to apples.
Yeah, imagine if you made 2% on a stock every single day.
Yeah.
That's a better comparison if you
Yes.
have a 2% edge
Exactly.
on sports betting.
It's the frequency of reinvestment that where the ROIs are not the exact same. So
Yes, like I'm sure that Domer doesn't have $400 million sitting around.
And the last one on the chopping block today comes from Boomer's Bets, who says, honestly, fantasy football is meaningless once you start sports betting. I couldn't give a rat's ass over my buy-in. Do you guys feel the same way?
well, go ahead, Jeff.
Like, I don't know about you guys, but that doesn't take very long. Like, you enter a league, whether it costs 100, 200, my home league's 500 more. And then, like, you see how much money you have on a bet on Sunday. Like, who gives a shit? Like, it's fun to play fantasy. It's fun to draft. I love drafting. I can set a lineup. It's easy to do. But, like, come game time Sunday, like, who gives a shit?
Yeah. I mean, betting, at least even props is just a form of fantasy, but more fun in my opinion, because you're not like invested in a player all year long. We have a $100 buy-in hammer pool. Kirk's been starting Kyler Murray for the last 8 weeks, and he's won like 6 of them. He doesn't even realize it right now. Like it doesn't matter. Like I feel this. I used to love fantasy football, but I'm sure if I could find
I still love it. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, when the games are on, I still want to win.
yeah.
But it doesn't matter if I have X on a game and my buy-in for this, and I'm in, like, a toss-up to make the playoffs pays X. Like, it's an easy assessment in the moment every Sunday.
I just can't make it a priority is the problem. Like I see G-Stack like fucking making waiver claims here at
my
work. I'm like,
God.
Jesus Christ.
Do you know how much
man.
fab money I have of our $100 budget?
100.
Probably 99.
Yeah.
But I agree with you guys in terms of the buy-in and caring. But my friends league now is punishment, 10 minutes of stand-up comedy.
Ooh.
It is the sickest sweat
Yeah.
I've ever witnessed. But friendships might end over this punishment. Last year, it was you had to go to a golf sim and get a hole-in-one. So to me now, it's just all about
Not
the
coming in
punishment.
last,
It's
though.
not. It's about
So
not
once
coming
you're in
last.
6th place and you're
Yeah,
locked out
then
of
who
last,
cares?
you're done.
Yeah, but like I'm gonna be sweating watching like who's gonna do this comedy because it is pure entertainment.
I'm sure people will say out there, because a bunch of people said this to me before, that there's like high roller fantasy football leagues, but it's, to me, still not worth like the time. Especially when you're in a high roller fantasy football league, now every manager is taking it super seriously because of that. So the time investment is absurdly large. I feel this tweet quite a bit. I wish I didn't, because there was a point in my life I loved fantasy football, but now, I mean, to Boomer Bet's point, I couldn't give a rat's ass over my
home league that costs the most, that I care about the most, we make fun of the guy who cares the most.
Yeah.
And it's not a little bit of money, but like we mock him for caring so fucking much and like leave us alone. And sometimes be like, I just had to do this like minor thing with him so he would stop harassing me about these trades.
Yeah. Yeah.
I disagree. I kind of disagree with you guys. I actually do enjoy fantasy football still. And I get from the stance of like, since I started betting and winning at betting, I've wanted to up the ante for fantasy football, and that gets kind of shot down every year. So it's like really the money isn't significant towards it, but I do enjoy just playing with my friends and beating them if I can win. I think that's I have fun doing that with my friends. I couldn't imagine doing this in a group I don't know, because like I just want to win against my friends. So I find the enjoyment from that perspective.
I'm only making fun. I still enjoy it, but from the argument of like between 1 and 8 o'clock on Sunday, I do not give a shit what my fantasy team is doing.
Yeah. I just don't get. I also, like, everyone's perspective is different, right? I don't like. My friends don't want to play fantasy football with me anymore. Like they just don't, because I was winning like pools pretty regularly. all I was doing is just pricing players for the week, like based off of their prop. Like this is long before projection systems were out, but like props are out there on every player. You can price average fantasy points rather easily. Like, but they didn't want to do it anymore, and then I just like didn't really care.
Well, I understand why, because they're like hyper casual. You're hardcore. You're dominating.
Yeah.
It's like Kirk might understand this. Me and a bunch of 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" Jews were playing some pickup basketball, and our 1'6'3" friend shows up. You ruin the game.
Yeah.
The game is
Kirk
now
is the tall guy.
the game is now ruined because you've decided to play. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm joking, but you get my point.
100%. I get it. One guy brings up this. My buddy has a Dutch friend that is so his brother-in-law is Dutch. Lives in the Netherlands though, and he comes in for like 1 month a year, and he brings him out to our pickup basketball games. The guy's 6'9". Okay, we're a bunch of like little Italian. I'm like the tall. I play center when I'm playing with these guys.
You should have to play right hand behind his back.
And he stinks, but like he's so big, and he's like, I brought this guy. Nobody can get aboard. Like, get out of here.
Well, give us your take on fantasy football and if you've lost your enjoyment or anything else to be talked about on the show today. Go ahead to the comment section down below. While you're down there, good opportunity for you to hit the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you're listening in audio form, please rate and review 5 stars if you're listening to the podcast. And remember, Circle Back is live Mondays, 1 p.m. We have the video that comes out Friday, 8 a.m. with the Friday Circle Back. We have bonus content every Wednesday. Tons of great content to keep you entertained. So hopefully we do indeed see you again